Good children of primary 2, I really thank you for coming back to this lesson 12 of comparing parts of the circle. We are all about comparing parts of the circle. Please, I want you to pay attention. I want you to be on such that we do consolidate these concepts properly and we see what we are going to do with these fractions. We do have examples of fractions. Remember, last time I taught you some of the examples of fractions, whereby we looked at what we call a half, a third, a quarter, a fifth, and others. But now today, we are going to look at what we call comparing fractions. We are going to compare them. How are we going to compare these fractions? Which fraction is bigger than the other? And which fraction is smaller or greater than the other? We are going to see which fraction is equal to the other. That is what we are going to look at today. We do have fractions here. This is a circle, parts of the circle. This is a circle. It is divided into 3 equal parts. You can see. If a circle is divided into 3 equal parts, it means that each part, the name of each part is a third. If a circle is divided into 3 equal parts, it means that the name of each part is a third. Then we can see here, if a circle is divided into 4 equal parts, the name of one part is a quarter. Now, my good children, I want you to look at these parts of the circle properly. Which part is greater than the other? Is it that a third is greater than a quarter, or it's a quarter which is greater than a third? From here you will compare. After comparing, you will see that all this fraction is greater than this one. If maybe you remove one part, I can remove this part. You can see, I can remove this down part. If you can see, if I remove this down part, and I also remove one part here from our quarter, I remove one quadrant. If I remove one quadrant, and I also remove one part of the circle, which is a third. If this is a quarter, and this is a third, which part of these circles is greater than the other and which is less than the other? From here, we shall see and get to understand that all a third is greater than a quarter. We shall say a third, or 1 out of 3, is greater than a quarter. 1 out of 3 is greater than 1 out of 4, or a third is greater than a quarter. If a third is greater than a quarter, so it simply means that a quarter, this one is smaller, or another one to mean another one we can use to mean smaller, we can say is less than. So we can say 1 out of 4 is less than 1 out of 3, or we can say a quarter is less than 1 out of 3. Thank you very much. From here, we can denominate of the fraction, I repeat, the bigger the denominator, or this down digit of a fraction, the smaller the fraction. This fraction, the denominator is big, and this one, the denominator is small. But this fraction which is having the small denominator is the fraction which is bigger, or is the fraction which is greater than the other. So that is how fractions are, and that's what you should understand in this fraction. So 1 out of 3 is greater than 1 out of 4, and 1 out of 4 is less than 1 out of 3. Thank you very much. Let us look at our chart here, my good children. And our chart is saying comparing parts of a fraction. Here we have been looking at 1 out of 3 and 1 out of 4. But here we are having other kinds of fractions. We are comparing a quarter and a half. We are comparing a quarter and a half. As I told you, when a fraction, a quarter, means that a circle is divided into 4 equal parts. Because it is a quarter, it means that a circle is divided into 4 equal parts. This is a quarter divided into 4 equal parts, and this is a half. It is because the circle is divided into 2 equal parts. Which part is greater than the other and which part is smaller than the other? You will see that this half quarter is small and this half is bigger, slightly bigger. So that's why we can say that a quarter is less. This is less than this one. This one is bigger. This one is greater than this one. At least we can say a quarter is less than a half. Which simply means that a half is greater than a quarter. As I told you that the higher or the bigger the denominator of a fraction, the smaller it becomes. So that's why we say that a quarter is less than a half. We go to our part B, and our part B we are comparing a half, or 1 out of 2 and 1 out of 3. Which is greater than the other? We can see here that our 1 out of 2 is a little bigger or greater than 1 out of 3. Reason being, the circle here is divided into only 2 equal parts, but here the circle is divided into 3 equal parts, which means that this half, this part of a whole, which is a half, is greater than a third. A half is greater than a third. And a third, therefore, a third is less than, because it is smaller than. A third is less than a half. So, my good children of primary 2, I thank you very much for being attentive. As I told you, be very critical on these numbers, because even if you come across a number like 1 out of 6, and also 1 out of 2, you get to understand that because this one is having the big denominator, the denominator of this fraction is big, it means that this fraction is the smallest fraction. This fraction is smaller, than a half. So if you are given, for example, compare 1 out of 6 and 1 out of 2, you will automatically say that 1 out of 6 is less than 1 out of 2. Hence, saying that 1 out of 2 is greater than 1 out of 6. Thank you very much, my good children. The activity has been sent to you. Please attempt it properly. Write with a very good handwriting as you've been doing. Please don't change. Your handwriting has been good. I want you to keep it up. We meet next week. Thank you very much.